We will address the elephant in the room, probably at the end of the video, maybe in the middle, but Floyd Mayweather, Lomachenko, 130, who you got? Now, look, I don't like fantasy fights. I think they're kind of a waste of time. You know, I get it. They're fun to talk about with, you know, amongst boxing fans, but I've never been a fantasy fight kind of guy. But this is intriguing. This is interesting, and I think it's a debate worth having. Okay. Now, look. Mayweather, you know, hitting the news recently with some, I would say, derogatory comments towards Lomachenko, and almost in a way, kind of not. Look, by not insulting Rigondeaux, to me, he's taken sides. Okay, and in that subtle, manipulative, you know, passive aggressive mannerism that we all know Mayweather has. Okay, you know, he's aggressive, yes, but he's also very passive aggressive in pretty much everything he says. Now, 130. Let's go over a few facts. Why is it relevant? Okay. Now, you go back in the early 90s. What did Mayweather debut? 96, 7, something like that. I think he debuted at 131, but we're going to call it 130. He had nearly, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have his resume in front of me. 18, 19, 20, 20-ish fights at 130. So that's why the talks have began, you know, and another reason, you know, we're looking at, you know, all-time greats here, you know, because right now, if Loma continues on this path, although with 400 plus amateur fights, I don't know if he can have, you know, just a healthy career, you know, with 40 and 50 fights. I don't know. I mean, you know, we know he already has hand problems and things like that, but you know, getting off subject here, it's a relevant conversation, okay? And especially, you know, now Mayweather has opened up that can of worms, all right? But go back, look at 2001, okay? Now, earlier I did take a peek at his resume, 2001, Diego Corrales. And the reason that year is relevant was because I believe that was the last year he fought at 130. Now, impressively, okay, impressive in that fight. Mayweather, 220 landed punches of 414 to where Diego Corrales only, what did he have? 60 of 205. I was like, damn, like that was pretty, and it was a good fight too. Okay, but look, we're going to get to, like I said, we're going to address the elephant in the room. I have to go over the formalities real quick. So, you know, like I said, you know, you got nearly, you know, whatever, 20 something fights at 130. And of course, Loma, you know, he's barely at 10, or, you know, not even at 130, but you know what I'm saying, collectively. But, Lomachenko, okay, look, here's what I think. I think, first of all, he is probably, I would say probably the most technically skilled boxer of all time. I know that's a bold statement to make, but I'm going to say Loma is the most technically skilled boxer. Now, remember, there's tons of categories. You know, we always talk about boxer, puncher, you know, the Cuban style, the slick. There's a ton of different, you know, styles of boxers, but I think technically, he's the best of all time, hands down. You know, you go look at the 400 plus amateur fights and combined with his pro career, and I don't know who else is out there. You know, you can go way back to Willie Pett, but there's not enough footage, so we really don't know. But arguably the most technically skilled fighter of all time. Okay, now let's get into the meat and potatoes here, right? Let's get into the good stuff, okay? Mayweather putting out a comment right here after the Rigondeaux-Loma fight. He said, I never fought a guy that was that small. He was smaller than that. Honestly, they didn't look like they belonged in the ring together, Mayweather told Fight Hype, okay? It really was no damage done to either side. It was just a stiff, robotic fight, okay? Nobody really landed, like, no killer solid I can't read the way he talks, sorry. Nobody landed like no killer solid shots, no real shots. You can look at me and Diego Corrales or me and Gotti, okay? And he said, I can't take that away from Lomachenko. You know, he went out there and done what he had to do. But one thing he can't do is knock out a guy. Mayweather also said he doesn't believe Rigondeaux was injured. And they're both basically levels below him. Now, let's break this down. Let's break it down. Okay. Of course, Loma fires back. It would have been an honor to fight you in your prime, but I'm not talking about you. Please stop hiding your fighter. Talking about Tank Davis, okay, Gervonta Davis, you know, and by the way, Gervonta Davis basically responded as, "I'm green, I'm not ready yet." You know, look it up, okay? I mean, that's basically what Gervonta Davis said about fighting Lomachenko. In other words, I'm not ready yet. Okay, he beat around the bush about it, but that's basically what dude had to say. So, but again, let's kind of dissect these comments here. Okay, you go back. When's the last knockout Mayweather had? You know what? I believe 2007. I think against Ricky Hatton. You know, I'm not counting Ortiz. We're not counting Victor Ortiz. That was a sucker punch. Like my mama could have thrown a shot like that and knocked him out. It doesn't count. Okay, does not count. You know, so I don't understand now. As far as not fighting a smaller guy, well, what about Juan Manuel Marquez? Now, maybe he meant at 130. I don't know. But, you know, he pulls up Marquez two divisions, and then he came in 2 pounds heavier than the agreed amount. So pulled the guy up 2 weight class. I mean, he basically pulled a Danny Garcia Rod Salka move right there, right out of the playbook of Danny Garcia. Pulled him up 2 weight divisions, comes in 2 pounds heavier. So, you know, everything he said, really, there's no credibility to it because he has fought smaller guys, okay? And, you know, I mean, right there, prime example. Now, I believe in 2002 he moves up to Castillo, okay, in 2002, and I think he went up to 134, okay? Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But so I'm talking basically 2001 or 1996, I believe, when he made his pro debut at 131, all the way up to 2001, 130, and you know, and yeah, he had some knockouts back then, but nothing incredible. I just don't understand, you know, the criticism coming from Mayweather. Like, you know, I don't get it. You know, right here, Mayweather criticizes robotic, stiff Lomachenko for not having knockout power. Well, look, I mean, first of all, Rigondeaux was like hunched over, you know, like he's literally hunched over in a fetal position half the fight, or he was holding, running. I mean, you know, what do you do? Like, you know, I mean, Lomachenko was like having to throw shots from like the ground up. You know, it's like he couldn't box in front of him, like laterally. He was having to almost punch upward to try to land something because, you know, the guy was hunched over for the majority of the fight, or he was on the back foot, or he was hugging and holding, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, I don't think it's a fair comment for Mayweather to make. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? So, but, you know, look. To me, Loma is an aggressive, technical boxer with developing power. By the way, I do believe, you know, the higher up in divisions, the more that power, that natural power is going to develop, okay? You know, I see it. Now, I don't think he'll ever be a true knockout artist, but I do see his power developing, and in my mind, he will be a complete fighter. I mean, he already is somewhat a complete fighter. To me, the power is the only thing that I believe is lacking, and not that he doesn't have power. I mean, you know, you can look at the Rocky Martinez fight, and you know, he's got power, okay, but I think it's developing. But look, back to Mayweather and Lomachenko, who wins, right? In this fantasy matchup, I believe, I mean, I'd bet $1 million on Lomachenko right now, you know, because look, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm huge. I'm just a huge advocate on styles, like stylistically, right? And to me, like I said, Loma is stylistically the most technical, skilled fighter I've ever seen in my life, hands down. And I don't think we'll ever see another guy come along like that, you know. Chocolatito Gonzalez, maybe, you know, but now he's kind of on the decline. Like, what's up with him? I mean, to me, that was just bad, you know, bad career choices. They put him in a bunch of wars that basically shortened his career, probably possibly ended his career, you know, so. But I think, you know, in that matchup, I would just see, I'd see hard-fought rounds. I'd see a tug-of-war, a back and forth. But I think ultimately, if the judging was fair, I believe Lomachenko would win by decision. So, and, you know, that's really not the point of my video. Now, the elephant in the room we talked about. Why is it, okay, why is it that there, and I'm not going to point out a certain group of people, but there are groups of people out there that cannot give Lomachenko credit, okay? I mean, I really, truthfully do not understand it. Like, why can they not give this guy credit? You know, it seems like they'll defend Mayweather at any and all costs, like they're defending, you know, their mother's honor, right? At all costs, but yet they give Loma absolutely zero in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, zero respect, you know, or even notoriety. You know, well, he was too small, you know. And here's the thing. Before they even made the Rigondeaux Loma fight, you had all these guys out there talking about, you know, how Rigondeaux is going to walk through him, he's going to knock him out, he's going to this, he's going to, and but then I told you what would happen in the aftermath. Oh, he was too small. Oh, it was a mismatch. You know, it was this, it was that. He's too old. You know, should have happened a long time ago. Blah 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 blah. You know, it should have been a catch weight. You know, he had to move up. Okay, he, you know, going from you know, moving up to 130. I mean, I told you guys the excuses they were going to lay out, and that's exactly what they've done. But my point is, you know, they can come up with any and every excuse to defend guys like Mayweather, and there's certain big channels out there that have made a career, that have literally, you know, bought houses and cars like off YouTube monetization defending Mayweather. Why? Because it's profitable. You know, channels like mine, it's not very profitable to sit here and tell you what I'm telling you, right? But I guarantee you, if I jumped on that train, that whole Mayweather money train, whatever, or especially back in the Pacquiao Mayweather days, you know, it would have been profitable. But I've always been genuine. I've always been honest, and that's the elephant in the room. And my question to you is why? You know, why can't these guys give people, you know, fighters like Lomachenko or even a Gennady Golovkin or even a Kovalev? Why can't they give them credit? I simply do not get it. Okay, but yet they'll defend an Andre Ward, a Mayweather, just tooth and nail to their death. They will defend these guys. So, and now you have Mayweather, really, I believe, you know, jealous. Okay, I mean, he's jealous because, you know, he wants to be the best, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, which that's Muhammad Ali, but he wants to be the GOAT. Okay, and so to me, I see like a jealous little kid, you know, that he doesn't like, you know, what this guy got, so he's got to come out in the media and act like a spoiled little brat, and, you know, and basically, you know, just wrongfully insult Lomachenko. You know, oh, you know, power, you know, should have knocked him out. You know, you look robotic, you look stiff, you look, oh, how are you supposed to look against an opponent like that? I mean, could you imagine if that was Mayweather in front of a Rigondeaux? If that was, I mean, think about this. What would Mayweather have done to that version of Rigondeaux? You know, he would have laid back with that shoulder roll, probably thrown about 18 punches around and coasted his way into a 12-round decision. That's exactly how a Rigondeaux Mayweather fight would go down. Now, Loma Mayweather, like I said, I'd have Loma by decision all day long. Okay, and like, I mean, I mean, look, that's my honest opinion. Okay, there's no biased reporting here. I mean, I could care less, honestly, because number one, the fight will never happen. But my point is, I just wish Mayweather and the Mayweather following would give credit where credit is due. So what do you think? Leave it in the comment box below. I mean, usually, I mean, I get a lot of comments on a daily basis, but I really want to hear what you guys have to say. So please comment below.